Welcome back to another episode of the Bold American Podcast presented by Barstool Sports. Great show lined up. We're going to talk about the Army horses. Kind of sad, especially for those of us who serve in the cavalry. Hunter Biden had a video circulate the interwebs today, and it is going quite viral. He had some opinions on some people, so we'll discuss that. There is a commanding general out there right now in the Army who is trying to outlaw sports for PT. And we got to give credit to Harvard, who did something very nice for the veteran and civil servant community. And all of that is going to be brought to you by our friends at Hey Dude. Nothing says American summer like comfort, simplicity, and doing things your own way. And that's what Hey Dude is all about. You can't see me even if you're watching right now, but I have Hey Dude on my feet right now. Love wearing them around the house. Super, super comfy. So whether you're wearing them around the house, road tripping to the lake, lighting up the backyard barbecue, or catching local fireworks with your crew, Hey Dude shoes are ready to roll. Guess what? They're lightweight, breathable, built for summer. Perfect for summer, actually. Slip them on, kick back, and let freedom ring without your feet ever paying the price. Been wearing these things all over the place. Not a single blister. Not even the first time I wore them. Unbelievably comfy. So head over to heydude.com/barstool and step into Hey Dude country, where every day feels like summer and every step feels like freedom. That's heydude.com/barstool. All right, Rob, Ryan, how are we doing? Good to see you. Last 72. Ryan, what'd you do?
I was back in my favorite place, Avalon, for the weekend. I have a fun thing. So my boy Cooper DeJean was at the Princeton on Saturday night. So that was
wow.
Yeah.
Walk us through that. What happened?
Yeah, like you can't just Cooper DeJean was there and that's it. That's the story. There's more to it.
That's the story. Cooper DeJean was there. All the young girls were blowing up their Snapchats. He was very gracious, taking pictures with everyone, So I didn't get a picture with Coop because I just didn't. I left that to the 19, 20-year-old girls. But, he was cool. He was hanging out at the Princeton, which if
what is familiar, the Princeton?
The Princeton is an iconic bar in Avalon. If you know South Jersey beaches, you traveled and you've gone to the Princeton.
Yeah, Rob, it's a good time. It's a solid time.
Yeah,
I
several different
haven't been there
rooms.
as much as Ryan, but I've been there enough to know it's a good time.
Yeah. In other news, my daughter left Saturday for Prochimid, which is basically it's the last block of military training she does before she heads into her sophomore year. So she's out at Camp Pendleton. She's spending a week with the Marines. Then she's doing a week of flight school, a week on a submarine, and a week on a ship. So all to kind of get her exposed and see where her interest lies when she graduates, which she's looking to get into. So that was kind of cool. And been getting lots of cool
How much they let
pics.
them do? Like you say, she's going to flight school. Like they let them get in the cockpit.
Oh yeah, they're like on a jet. Yeah. Pretty cool. They spend a couple nights in a submarine. They're on a ship. She's doing Marine Corps training this week. So I'm getting, picture of her at a tank and in a Humvee. It's cool. So
got to do it. Every cadet midshipman has to do that.
Yeah.
So where do they go for all those different events? Are they on one naval base or do they go to different bases?
So I think, don't quote me on it, I think they move around. She's at Pendleton right now, Camp Pendleton, the Marine Corps base. And then I think they go over to Coronado. They're all on the West Coast somewhere, but don't quote me on the specifics around it. I'll find out.
That's cool.
Yeah. No, that's pretty cool. And certainly if they get to do the hands-on stuff. What do you... I know reading the context clues, she wants to be a Marine, but if you had your druthers, what would you like her to do?
Well, I want her to do what makes her happy. Honestly,
all right, don't give me the PC parent
I'm
answer.
not.
Don't tell me what you want her to do. That's like when you ask people oh, who's your favorite kid? And they're like, oh, I like all my kids the same. I think that's a load of crap. I think everybody, yes, you love all your kids equally, but you like them differently. You absolutely like one kid for other reasons, and that might change over time. So don't give me the PC answer. What do you want?
Listen, she comes from a storied history of many Marines. And so like, yeah, that would be freaking awesome. But if she turned to me and said, hey, Mom, I really loved spending time on a Navy ship and I want to be a SWO, I'd be like, go for it, babe. And frankly, even my dad says that to her when she says, I want to go into the Marine Corps. He's like, well,
think about it.
Think about it. My dad never talked to my brother about being a Marine. I can tell you that. Literally never, ever talked to him about you should be a Marine. Never.
Was that your brother's first choice, or like was he do they do that at the Naval Academy where like they force people into certain branches, or like for some examples in the Marines?
You wouldn't get forced in the Marines. You'd have to pick Marines and then they'd have to pick you.
Got it.
So there's only a certain number of Marine slots. There's only a certain number of SEAL slots. You know,
you can branch right into the SEALs and then you're in that pipeline. Wow.
Yeah. Now there's like, I think it's maybe like 12, 15 out of a class of 1,000.
Yeah.
Marines, I think it's probably about 80 to 100. Yeah. So, and then
that's
like,
cool.
Then there's like the aviation community. So you can get picked right away.
Yeah. But within I meant more so like you want her to go in the Marines, but what do you want her to do in the Marines? Do you want her to be a Marine pilot? Do you want her to be,
I don't really care. Whatever she wants to do. I'm her mom. I don't want her to try and go Marine infantry unless she I wouldn't as a mother. I want her to do something a little more safe,
Thank you. I appreciate that honest answer. That's what I was looking for.
There we go.
Thank you.
Yeah. Like a public affairs officer,
There you go.
That's my world.
Yeah.
So if you want to go a pilot, right? Like there's naval aviator. And then if you want to become a pilot in the Marines, you still have to go Marines. And then in Marines, you have to select aviation, right?
Yeah.
Is that how it works?
Yeah.
So Marine aviators, are they like, is it like the top of the top of the top Marines? Or how does that skew? I'm curious.
I really don't know the aviation community very well. I know like if you go, once you graduate from Navy and you go to TBS, right? Like you'll go through TBS and then you pick your MOS, like you put in like, so with Travis, with my brother, like his top pick was infantry, right? And he graduated at the top of his TBS class. He didn't get infantry. He got logistics. So
he was a logistician. Wow. Okay.
He was a logistician. And then, but then he did his first tour as a logistics officer to Iraq and then came back and joined the 1st Recon Battalion.
That's right.
So, but the logistician of the year award for the Marine Corps is the First Lieutenant Travis Mannion logistician of the year, so
that makes sense now. Okay.
Yeah. You don't always get the MOS you want, I think, I don't even think logistics was on his short list, but you get what the Marine Corps gives you, Yeah.
I was force branched. I had my 5th or 6th choice. Connor, what about you?
That's brutal. I got my first choice.
You did? I was in the bottom of my class, man. I got artillery force branched. It wasn't my first choice.
That's too bad.
It happens, but it was the best career ever. Army career.
Yeah.
So,
all right. Well, that's cool. Good stuff. Good stuff. Rob?
It was pretty chill. My parents came to visit. So did family stuff. And then my dad has allergies, so he can't hang out at my house for too long because I have a dog. But anyways, we had a great time. We had family and friends over on Saturday. I cooked a German breakfast. But the real sticking point here is we started watching Always Sunny in Philadelphia all over again. And
good choice.
For the first time, or you said
no, so this is all over. I mean, I probably got to season 10 when I was in the military, but I forgot how fucking good the first 2 seasons are. Like the way they shot it with like a handheld device, maybe on such a low budget, the jokes still hold up, maybe even more now because of how crude it is. And just like seeing young Mac and Charlie and you know what I mean? Like, and Sweet, it's just, it takes you back to like 05, 06 when Connor was like graduating West Point, going to Iraq. Probably I was in high school. Ryan was doing whatever. I don't know, on the Jersey Shore.
I'm roughly Connor's age. So I don't know what you're trying to do here. Just so you know.
Yeah. But it was some nostalgia for sure. I got through 2 seasons over the weekend and up until this morning. I have to say it was just so good. So good.
Yeah.
I mean, any show that can make it to 17 seasons
Isn't that
bananas.
nuts? As a live action show, I think it's the only one.
Yeah.
I think. But anyways.
There's very few shows that have made that sort of run on television in all of history. So I mean,
speaking of shows, you had given the recommendation, and then I actually got it from my daughter, who was like, "Mom, you've got to watch the Bin Laden documentary." So I started watching that. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Super focused on the CIA aspect.
Yeah.
Which I mean, they touch on some of the stuff that was in the movie Zero Dark 30, but they go deeper than what was in that movie. So it was really fascinating, I thought.
Yeah, I thought so too. So.
Ryan, on the Sunny thing real quick, did you ever have you interacted with the cast and crew at all as a Philly girl? Like, have you crossed paths with them?
I have a lot of friends that are tight with Rob McElhenney.
Cool.
Yeah, so a lot of I've never met him, but I have a lot of friends who are friends with him. So.
And Patty's is in Philly. Is that like an actual spot or
no? It's made up for the show.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
There's a lot of bars like that in Philly,
for sure. I threw some after parties and one like that. Yeah. No. Anyways.
Nice.
Good stuff. Yeah.
Connor, what about
you? Dude, we're just counting down the days now at this point, getting close to that birth. So our social calendar has dwindled quite a bit. I was able to play 2 rounds of golf, which is
a lot.
Yeah, no, that is a lot.
That's not bad.
No, that's a lot for me, especially now, with the wife and the kid. And then tried doing a carnival, got rained out. Went to hibachi. Hibachi's really good when you have little kids. We went with another family that we're friends with who now have 3 kids that are 4, 2, and 8 weeks old, I think. Maybe less than that. Not even 8 weeks. Maybe 8 days. Jesus, I don't know. She's really young. Anyway, she just sat in the doona the whole time, didn't move. So it was it was nice. But at this point, we were kind of just saying to ourselves, let's just get this baby out. Like if we could go to the hospital tomorrow. And
that's how that last stretch is.
When is she due?
8/27. So
another
it's
month.
hot. She's uncomfortable. It's basically another month worth of being uncomfortable and not feeling up to necessarily
last month
chasing a toddler.
Last month is like worse than the first 8 months combined. It's like the worst thing ever. You're crawling out of your skin.
Yeah. And I mean, she's just not sleeping well, which I feel horrible about because I sleep like a rock every night. I sleep like a rock.
Are you a snorer, Connor? Do you snore a lot?
I do a little bit, but I'm not like a snorer. Like if I'm on my back, especially if I've been drinking, yes, then I'm more prone to snore. But I get she'll kick me in the middle of the night and say roll over, or if I breathe on her, she tells me to roll over. Like if I roll the wrong way towards her, she's like, I don't want you breathing on me. Roll back over.
I get that. Rob, do you snore?
No.
You don't strike me as a snorer.
No, I got my tonsils taken out when I was a kid. I don't think I've snored ever.
Connor, must I say that you're still looking very slim?
Yeah, dude.
Your colonoscopy weight has kept off in the past.
Especially with the ring light, your skin looks amazing.
So
thanks guys. I love this. This is great. No, I'd like to keep going. I'd like to get back down to a much lower weight too, just because I fear that once this baby comes and listen, we'll be outside walking a lot and doing a lot with the 2 kids. But I just feel like if I can recall when Maggie was born, there's a lot of just around the house time. Like Maggie she'll be in daycare, so she won't be at the house. But we're only going to be doing so much with this kid. I don't know. Maybe we'll split time and we'll go to the gym and she'll do her Orange Theory classes and things of that nature. But I say all that to say I'm afraid of the ordering the food and not moving around as much. And I got to be really careful that, this weight that has gone away doesn't just return very quickly. Because I have a propensity to eat. So I got to be careful that doesn't happen. So we'll see. But anyway, we will get into the show now. Rob, you wanted to talk about the Army horses, our beloved cavalry. What do you got? What's going on in the Army community with our horses?
Yeah, so it looks like the big U.S. Army under old Pete Hegseth, DoD, they're trying to bring revenue and into more warfighting capabilities, and with that means they're going to draw down on certain traditional aspects and units of the bigger Army. And in this case, it's going to impact the military working equine program. So all the military horses across some of our bigger bases. So they're going to sunset ownership and operation of all those horse units in Irwin, Huachuca. Sorry, that's Fort Irwin, Fort Huachuca, Fort Riley, Fort Sill, and Fort Hood. And now a lot of those, to your point earlier, Connor, are all cavalry units, and they're made for military parades, traditional award ceremonies, pageantry, all that. So me as a horse guy growing up with horses, I think it's a little bit of a shame. My take is that the Army's only going to say
you grew up with horses?
Yeah. I mentioned that on another pod. Yeah.
I don't recall that, but that's
the whole equine therapy. We talked about that for like 20 minutes.
Oh, I remember that part. Yeah. I didn't remember you saying you grew up with horses. I feel like I would have made fun of you for that. That's pretty hoity-toity to grow up with horses.
I'm actually far removed from that. Like horses in Germany too are kind of common. Like you can get them middle class fancy kind of, but my mom's side always had 2 to 3 horses. So it wasn't like I was riding them every day, but like they're like part of our family. So now we only have 1 horse in Germany, and it's my godmother's, but it's a shame.
And then that was just like riding. That was never like, hey, we're gonna breed horses to race.
No. Total like I guess selfish riding, taken care of, and just kind of like for the fun of it. You know what I mean? So
yeah. No, I remember one time I was picking Portnoy's brain about horses and horse racing, and you gotta have just super, super, super deep pockets to mess around in that world.
You do.
My neighbor was owned Smarty Jones. Remember that?
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and they had some big bucks.
Yeah, one of my old employers, he actually won. I want to say the Kentucky Derby in 2018, 19. VV had a horse, so I'm familiar with that side of the horse world. I was more on the simple side, like. We're good to just afford the lease and the rent on the stable and stuff. So,
are you putting a saddle on your horse when you're riding in Journey? Are you bareback?
I am.
Like, okay.
Yeah, saddle. They have their own, or Guinness has his own little shed with like 10 other horses in North Germany. So it's like perfect, almost tropical, wet, moisture climate for the horses. And that's kind of where they grew up. So,
okay,
yeah,
nice.
Yeah, bummer. Obviously, I'm a big sucker for tradition, and obviously horses don't serve a function. They haven't. I mean, the last time they served a function was when we went into Afghanistan in October of 2001.
Yeah,
the first CIA and special operators. And actually, my favorite monument, probably in the country, is in New York City, and it's the America's Response Monument, and it's a Special Forces soldier on a horse with his two legs kicked up. Very, very cool monument. If you're ever near Ground Zero, it's up in, I forget the name of the park, but it's a park right next to the Oculus and Ground Zero down there. So go check that out. But
there's some good pubs around there too. Some good bars around there.
That's true. Our West Point's mascots fall into this program, though, I'd imagine too, right?
They don't actually. So the West Point Mule and Horse Equine program is all privately funded, which is a fun fact. I was actually with them in March to check out the new stable and everything, as the horse guy I am. But this story to me is kind of a bummer. It's only going to save like $2 million for the whole DoD defense budget, which to me, $2 million is like nothing. So I don't know why we can't just keep tradition, pageantry, and some great heritage alive for the sake of it. I mean,
you want to save money. I understand that, but like, like finding things that cost $2 million, as you said, that's like a drop in the bucket for a budget that's nearly $1 trillion. That just, I don't know. That doesn't seem like a smart place to cut, especially when it really looks cool and with recruiting. at some
Yeah,
point.
I think Arlington is untouched. Of course, for good reasons. The horses with the honor guard are going to be untouched. But there was a scandal a couple years back. So the DoD did have an issue with upkeep and maintenance of the stables, and the basic care of the horses. You know what I mean? Because think about it too, Connor. Like, you know, the military. Every 18 months, someone's factoring in and out, swapping in and out. Like, if you get some people that are unprofessional and don't know what they're doing in charge of horses, they're going to have a tough time, and standards could slip. But I feel like that's trainable. And so hopefully the DoD, kind of like that land policy with the big bill, they kind of reverse their take here, but we'll see.
All right. Well, I guess all those folks who are in the equine program are going to have to look for new jobs, unfortunately, across the Army, and maybe start doing other Army stuff. But yeah, bummer. What are you going to do? Moving on. Did you guys see this Hunter Biden video or interview that he did
this morning when I woke up?
I mean,
I got sent it like 50 times.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. And then just thoughts off the top. What are you guys thinking about this?
Has Ryan seen it?
I saw it. I mean, Hunter Biden's a fool. It's just like
he's a fucking crackhead.
Yeah.
No, quite literally. Unfortunately, like, I have a hard time. I feel kind of bad, like making fun of somebody who clearly has addiction issues, because that's really what this comes down to. He has very, very bad addiction issues, and probably the worst thing to have as an addict is a family that can enable that addiction.
Well, that's
money
the problem.
On it, hiding it, maybe trying to get you help, but ultimately just, I mean, the amount of things that he has been kept out of as it pertains to trouble are probably longer than anybody actually knows. I thought it was interesting. It's an interesting tactic now. He's going after all these big names within the Democratic Party. And I think there has to be some truth to some of the things he was saying. But ultimately, what it comes down to is people are just going to dismiss him as a drug addict who's pissed off that his dad got pushed out of the White House and the money train is drying up. So it was just not what I expected to see on a Monday morning, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think he went for 3 hours too with the Channel 5 guy, which I got sent that video or the podcast, and I was like, Hunter Biden.
I thought it was a joke when I first pulled it up. Could just based on the way the dude is dressed, who's interviewing him.
That's his thing. The Channel 5 guy. He's done kind of, remember how Kat Timpf did it years ago, where she went in like the Juggalo thing and just like interview people about like crazy shit. That's been his thing since COVID. And he blew up because of that content style. And so to me, it did strike me as kind of a surprise that Hunter Biden went with him. But yeah, I mean, he went down some rabbit holes and he had some long takes about the Democratic Party, which was kind of funny to me, but clearly he still needs some help, I think.
Yeah, no, he definitely does. But I think what he is exposing though too, and this is not a shock to anyone, is just how broken our political system is on both sides. You have these people, both Republican and Democrat, who essentially just become professional Democrats or professional Republicans, and they just kind of hang around the party,
the party line, and
for decades. And they did something at one point in their career or were attached to someone, and then that's what they trade on for the rest of their life, rest of their career. And I'm not necessarily blaming them, because they're operating within a system that allows it. And I think if anything you take away from this video, it's that we need to really, and actually I don't even know how we would do this, but we really need to look into our political system and figure out how to revamp it, because it's just so utterly broken. And I don't know if that's possible.
It's not, but
I don't think it's possible.
You can go join Elon's new party if that's how you feel.
That's right.
But that's not viable either, which is unfortunate. So I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't realize Hunter Biden's 55 years old. I thought he was younger for some reason.
I thought he was older.
Really? I thought he was
Could
younger
be the
for
drugs.
some reason. Yeah, could be the drugs. Good for him. He did 3 hours. Cool. Let's move on.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess the Democratic Party has some thinking to do, but I think they're none too pleased with him. But anyway. All right. And then did you see this memorandum that went out from Task Force Muleskinner, which I don't know where that is. I don't know where Task Force Muleskinner is. But some colonel put out a memorandum that said all personnel assigned to Task Force Muleskinner who are deployed to the UCOM AOR are prohibited from participating in sports. Sports is defined as any activity which requires a concerted physical effort by one or more persons against one or more persons and is typically associated with scoring or winning as its goal. This includes both recreational and competitive sports. I retain the authority to grant exceptions to this prohibition. Rob, starting with you, what is your best memory from doing sports for PT in the military? And while you think of that, I will tell you, can't really see it, but I have a pretty gnarly horseshoe scar here.
Okay.
Because we were playing ultimate football one time, and I ran to try to deflect a pass, and my hand went into somebody's mouth, knocked out 2 teeth, and their teeth like went into the fatty part of my palm here, and I needed to get, I think, 7 or 8 stitches.
Where were you, bro? Where was this? Was this first Cav?
This is actually while I was no. This is while I was a GA at West Point. So I went up to
oh no shit. After your Army career?
There. Yeah. No. I was a second lieutenant. That was my
first yeah. That's what I meant after your Army football career. Sorry.
Yeah. So I just knocked some 03. I don't remember who it was, but I knocked out 2 of his teeth. Unfortunately, I felt really bad. I wasn't trying to hit him in the face. I was going for the ball, and the way it just kind of all happened, his hand. Yeah,
Ryan, you go first.
No, well, I need more context to this. So
basically what this commander is saying, he doesn't want, like, obviously, in the Army, I can't speak to the other branches, but in the Army, every morning in traditional units, you get there at 5:30, whatever it is, and you do PT as a unit.
Yeah.
Now that could be, PT could be a million different things. It could be a long run. It could be, push-ups, air squats, crunches, and then a run. It could be there's a gym.
Yeah,
that's right there next to your unit's headquarters. You go to the gym, or it could be there's a lot of games that people play, whether it's ultimate frisbee, ultimate football. It's just a way to break up the monotony that is traditional unit PT, because traditional unit PT, for lack of a better word, is brutal. It's going on a run with 30 people or more is just not an enjoyable experience. And
so why does he want to take away that aspect of it, the sports aspect? Is there any reasoning behind it? Is it?
Yeah, I think it's because he's trying to prevent injuries.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. So it's to prevent knocking out someone's teeth and taking 8 stitches to the hand, essentially.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, correct.
I think breaking up the monotony is probably a good thing sometimes, I don't know. As long as you're physically active, but I do get, from a readiness perspective, you don't want someone like breaking their ankle playing ultimate frisbee, but I guess you could do that on a run too, I don't know.
Yeah. I remember
I'm a little conflicted on this, honestly, personally.
Yeah. I remember
but you're taking away morale too. Taking away that morale of like, oh, tomorrow we're going to do something fun.
Yeah. It used to be when I was in, and even after I left, you would have like Mondays would be the run day, 5K, whatever, warm up 5K. Tuesday was like a strength hit day. Wednesday was kind of like a remedial day. Thursday was another run. And then Friday was kind of like based on your platoon or something. But I do recall, to Ryan's point, when I was in, even on deployments, that like the sports days would be associated with like a certain Army milestone date, or once a month or once a quarter, because to both y'all's points and what we know of, there's so many non-athletic people in the military, and like one slip up, they're out. They're fucking code red. They're not deployable. They're not able to compete and help their brothers and sisters in arms. So I feel like I get the general's memo here. Also, what the fuck is Task Force Muleskinner? I still don't know. Google's not showing anything. Maybe this guy's also some NARP, and he never played sports, but I do get, at a certain level, you want some camaraderie building, you want some athleticism, you want to change up the monotony of a fucking squat day with the troops and the boys and the girls and a fucking run or a ruck, right? No, that's what it was. Every Thursday was like a ruck we did or something. It's like the monotony does sit in, and that's why training events out in the field will be helpful, because you break that shit up. But I did see some guys get bloody noses though on Ultimate Frisbee Day or Flag Football Day. Like that shit happens, but it's also the military. Like you're supposed to like boys will be boys a little bit.
Listen, competition. I think competition breeds. You talk about having a warrior ethos. That's like the crux of it is competition. And I'm obviously biased, but I think you gain a lot of that from playing sports and from working as a team in a more controlled environment than the team when you're deployed or executing on a mission. So I don't agree with this at all. I guess maybe the compromise could be because, again, I was in a combat unit. I think the likelihood that you have unathletic people is less than if you were in a combat support unit. And I'm making sweeping generalizations here. I recognize that.
Yes.
But I think by and large, if you're in a combat unit, combat branch, you have people that can control their bodies to an extent. Of course, you have the dude who's going to go play football at Florida State, but he decided to join the Army instead. You have plenty of those dudes. I just think you could continue to let sports happen. And if you have people who are really concerned about getting injured, then maybe you elect like a NARP, a non-athletic regular person NCO. And when the unit is playing Ultimate Frisbee, the NARP NCO takes three folks and they go for a run or something. Because I don't want people to just sit out and not do PT. But if you're really that concerned, I mean, injuries happen. Professional athletes get injured. And I mean, the comparison is a little wild there, but you get what my point. Like everybody gets injured playing sports, knock on wood.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I actually remember growing up, my dad was in like a Marine Corps basketball league. And like we'd go, I mean, and some of his best friends from the Marine Corps were guys that he played basketball with in that Marine Corps basketball league. And it was super, super competitive, like super competitive. And we'd go and watch the games.
You're
like I have memories of that.
2-time Fort Hood flag football champ. Okay. So I get it. And we have some good memories from those games. And again, I'm biased. I think sports are the best.
Okay. So I changed my mind. I'm not conflicted. I agree with you.
I think you gain more from playing. Because again, you can roll your ankle on a ruck march.
100%.
I've seen it. I've seen that shit.
Yeah.
Yes. The propensity for injury is higher if you're playing sports versus doing other things, but you're not going to prevent injury. And I'm sorry, but being in the military is physical.
Yeah.
Your body is a weapon, or at least it should be. So you need to treat it as such and prepare it. So I don't agree with this commander even a little bit. I'd be curious to see what they look like.
It was kind of funny too when I was an officer, and there's always that one captain or major you don't fucking like, or the one guy who's being a prick to you, and then you go out and you play soccer, or you go out and you play flag football, and then you see that motherfucker roll his ankle, you're like, ha, sucks. Like, I don't know, moments like that, like, not the worst.
So I don't agree with this memorandum, but anyway.
Okay.
But you know what other sport I love to play, as we mentioned, and I wish we could have done this for PT, is play golf. That would have been amazing. But if you're in the military right now and you need to find a tee time, you got to just use Barstool Golf Time. Because if you're looking for an easier way to get on the course, we got you covered. The Barstool Golf Time app makes it easy for golfers to find the best tee times at the best prices. And this includes publicly accessible courses on military installations. Stop searching all over Google for your next tee time or going through the hassle of calling courses. You can search multiple courses in your area from one app and get your tee time set within seconds. With every action you take in the app, you earn rewards points, which can be redeemed for merch in the Barstool store. We just relaunched the rewards experience in the app. There's more items from the Barstool store to choose from, and you now have more flexibility with your points. So you can use your rewards points as credit to any item in the collection, or you can bundle and use points on multiple items. Listen, we are right smack dab in the middle of summer, right smack dab in the middle of golf season. So come golf with us. Download the Barstool Golf Time app today. That was probably the best thing ever about my last job in the military. In the Army, I was able to get out of the office some days at like 2:00, and Fort Hood had 27 holes. So I was over there all the time. It was amazing. Yes.
Connor, I think we need to go out and show how to use the Barstool app and hit the golf course together. And
All right.
yeah,
Yes, I would support that. I would support that.
Give a tutorial.
Okay, we can do that.
Okay.
You know who's not on the golf course? Nerds. You know who's got a bunch of nerds? Harvard. No, I'm kidding. No, Harvard is actually doing something very cool. They announced last week it's created new scholarships for at least 50 military veterans and public servants to earn a master's degree at its prestigious Kennedy School of Government. Under the program, the American Service Fellowship, students will receive $100,000 to cover tuition fees and additional stipend. It plans to recruit for the one-year master's program degree in all 50 states with classwork beginning fall of next year. In this moment of political division and major challenges in America, it's never been a more important time to invest in the next generation of public servants, according to Harvard Kennedy School Dean Jeremy Weinstein, when he sent a letter to the student body on Thursday. So I just thought this was very cool of Harvard. And Harvard's been catching a lot of flack recently. They've been a target for some folks in the political sphere for what they teach, what they allow on their campus. But at the end of the day, Harvard is still Harvard. And the Kennedy School of Business, what?
Oh, Ryan.
I don't know. I can't help but think that there is some political motivation behind this.
You mean like they're trying to offset the
No, I don't think they're trying to upset anyone. I think they're trying to do a mea culpa.
It's a PR play.
Yeah, like,
for sure.
Correct.
For sure. But that said,
no, I think it benefits
veterans. So
for sure. Yeah, I'll give it that.
I mean,
I think it's good. I almost think, to Ryan's point, it's a little too late. I feel like there's so many grads and good Army folks, Navy grads who have all gone to Harvard, right? And I have never been to Harvard or the campus, so I don't know how many veterans make up the population in undergrad or grad, but I feel like they could do more stuff like this. They could have, but good for them.
I mean, you guys are really downplaying Harvard. It's one of our most prestigious institutions.
I'm not downplaying Harvard. I'm just saying you're the one who said they've been taking a lot of slack for what they teach, what positions they're taking, and now all of a sudden they're like, oh, we're gonna, I'm just saying, I think it's great, fantastic. I think they should double the number next year. Keep going. I'm just saying, I don't think it was done just with,
No, I don't think it was done out of the goodness of their heart.
Yeah, there was a strategic plan behind doing this. That's all I'm saying.
No,
but
I agree. No, I agree.
I just think
it's for sure nice to arm these veterans and civil servants with a degree from Harvard, because that 100%. Will certainly set you up. So my question to you two then is, you get to have a master's degree. Snap my fingers and you get to have a master's degree. What are 3 schools that you would want your master's degree from, and why?
I mean, I think probably the top school I'd want my master's degree from would probably be Wharton, if I could pick. I think.
What would you study?
Business.
So an MBA.
Yes, correct. I mean, Wharton's right in Philly, but again, when you think about getting your MBA, it's about the network, right? And Wharton's like Harvard, Kennedy Business School style network. So I'd have to think about the other 2, but that would be top one. Yeah. Rob?
I would have to go solely for location and what the campus looks like, maybe Pepperdine, because it is the most beautiful campus. I don't know if the fires affected it during January's fires.
That's why you're picking where you're getting your MBA.
No, well, so at West Point, right? You're so bogged down. You're not really taking in the little things. I feel like going to a school that's a bunch of palm trees, and I don't know. Pepperdine could be cool, but then also Harvard wouldn't be too bad. And then third, maybe Georgetown, just because my parents live in DC. I've been to Georgetown a bunch. My sister went there. I think the campus is beautiful, right on the Potomac. Maybe start crewing a little bit, ride some horses, go full hoity-toity like cons. I think Georgetown could be the move, actually.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, the Ivies have their networks, obviously Harvard, Wharton, Those are all. I mean, any Ivy League school. Columbia actually graduates a ton of veterans with advanced degrees. I might go a different direction though, because, and I've written about this. I have a hard time, and this is my own hang up, and I know people feel very strongly about this, very vehemently oppose me on this. I have a hard time rooting for colleges that I have zero affiliation with. So people who have zero affiliation with the university. So I might pick where I get my advanced degree by what schools I think it would be nice to like graduate into that alumni. So like go to Macombs at UT. Oh. Cool. Now I can be a UT fan.
Called it.
Michigan. Cool. Now I can be a Michigan fan. You know, take Duke. I don't know. Like I think that I would take the sports route. Because I mean,
I get it. I get it for sure.
I get that too.
Because like, this is going to sound really ridiculous, and if my old co-host Chaps and Kate were here, they would be coming down very hard on me on this. But like, I already got the network thing with West Point, so why not go?
Yeah,
get a rooting interest for college sports that I really enjoy watching college sports. So I just think it would be cool to
kind of have that
whole new color wheel into my wardrobe of college school colors that I can root for.
So what school on that end would you not go to? Like if you had, like what grad schools would you not go to? Like Ohio State, Rutgers, like where would you absolutely not go?
Yeah, probably not Rutgers, just because if I'm getting another degree, I want it to carry a little cachet. And nothing against Rutgers. I'm sure I know Rutgers like it's my state school of Jersey here. I know it has a good reputation, but it doesn't carry the same doesn't have the same je ne sais quoi of like a Michigan. I would avoid schools that have bad sports, basically.
Yeah.
I need to have a good athletic program. I mean, that's like super meathead of me, but if I'm going to get another degree, I got to get something out of it besides a piece of paper.
I feel like Notre Dame would be a cool school to have.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's a good
Notre
one.
Dame's a good one. And also Notre Dame is probably on the top of the list of school that has the most fans that have zero affiliation.
Yep.
Well, exactly. I was trying to think about it from that perspective. Like everybody's a Notre Dame fan. Nobody went there,
Yeah. When Notre Dame played Army at Yankee Stadium this past November, there must have been 5,000 Army fans, maybe 40,000 Notre Dame fans. Like it was palpable. You could feel it in Manhattan even. Like the Notre Dame fans come out of the fucking woodworks, man. There's millions of those guys.
And the fans, in air quotes, they get really, really defensive when you're like, what are you talking about? That you have zero affiliation to the school. Because I wrote a blog and I'll tell you these are my 4 rules that are pretty hard and fast in terms of how do you determine if your rooting interest for a college is valid. And again, this is just my opinion.
Okay.
But it's in black and white, so therefore it's valid. Either 1, you root for your alma mater. Okay. So you went there. Yeah. You don't have to have a degree, but if you went there, because that technically your alma mater is somewhere that you attended. So 1, you root for your alma mater. 2, you have a very close family member who went to that school and brought you in to that fandom. I think that is valid. Mm-hmm. You are from a state and you root for your state school. So you're from Columbus, Ohio. So you root for Ohio State. Cool. Yeah. Got it. Or you worked for that school at some point, whether that's in the athletic department, you taught there, something. Those 4 buckets. That's it. In my opinion, I think those are the only valid ones.
So like my grandfather, my mom's dad was like a diehard Notre Dame, didn't go there. He didn't go to college, but like I grew up loving Notre Dame because he loved Notre Dame, but there's no like affiliation. So that doesn't count. Okay.
Because here's my thing. Like I always say this, do you feel weird having to explain why you're a fan? And people are like, well, let anybody root for whoever they want.
I mean, I don't.
No. Root for whoever. Listen, I say root for whomever makes you happy. Root for whoever. I just think when people ask you like, oh, why are you a Notre Dame fan? And you have this super convoluted story, just know that somebody might look at you a little sideways. That's really where
I think
my
college sports
opinion.
is the biggest one for me, where if you really have no personal connection, it's a little strange.
Yeah.
That's
I
like
have a big problem with that. Like, I have a big problem with that with professional sports, because I have like friends who like, I had friends who when they were here and like, oh, my son's a Dolphins fan, and I'm like, why? And they're like, oh, he grew up loving the colors, and I'm like, get out of my house. Like, no, he's not watching the Super Bowl with us. No, he cannot come over.
Damn,
If he's
Ryan.
not in-
How
Well,
old is
you're
this
not-
kid?
He grew up in Philadelphia. You're not an Eagles fan, and the parents allowed him to be a Dolphins fan
it's
because
kind of
he liked the
strange.
colors. I'm like, that's so weird. Like, that's weird. So, but anyone can be an Eagles fan. We invite you all to join us. Join the party.
Pro sports is a little harder to govern, I think.
Yeah,
Mhm.
definitely harder to govern, but
Teams move. But in theory, like, you should just basically be like, where are you from?
Yeah,
Cool, that's what you
that's
root
it.
for.
You're stuck with it.
Or like, all right, or maybe you have a parent that's, from Dallas and grew up a Cowboys fan and brought you into that, even though you live in New Jersey now. That, cool, I'll entertain that. But beyond those, like, and I'm not gatekeeping fandom, like whoever you like. I just think people get really annoyed because they know their fandom's kind of fugazi, and that's why they get mad. That's why they get defensive.
Okay, question for you too. If you grew up a sports fan and that team is just continuously sucking and never winning, would it ever be okay, maybe in your 20s, 30s, 40s, to change allegiance and start cheering for another team?
no.
Like if you grew up as a Cowboys fan, like I was born in 1990, you're a kid in the 90s, you kind of saw, Jerry Rice win, Troy Aikman win, and I'm not a Cowboys fan, but I'm just hypothetical. Would you grant someone permission to change allegiance to another team?
Permission. No, I think you stick with who you got.
Yeah, the Cowboys suck, and no Cowboys fans are allowed to be Eagles fans. But no, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Then you're not a fan. That's not the definition of a fan, right?
But is it
You
not
gotta
that
ride.
I'm
You
doing
gotta
it?
ride at the highs and the lows.
I'm a Giants fan. I've been through the worst. But
Oh yeah.
would it ever be okay, like, if someone's like a Mets fan?
Let me use an example that's closer to home for you. Army football went through a really bad period.
Oh, I was there. I sweated out.
Yeah. Did you? I mean, yeah. Especially when you were did you ever think about jumping off the bandwagon? Exactly. Because everything.
I feel like a lot of people don't want to switch.
Well, then those people suck. I don't want those people in my foxhole.
I know.
You need the people who are going to be diehard through and through, no matter what happens. Because guess what? By and large, sports are cyclical. Like,
for the most part, yeah.
Teams that were amazing when we were growing up. I mean, the Bulls in the 90s are arguably one of the best, if not the best team of all time. And then they went through a massive drought after that. I mean, there's countless examples of teams that have come and gone. So that's why I also think, like, you got to just ride it out through the bad times. You can't just be fair weather.
So I think that's why my second point to this, I think that's why people root for players. You ever have that conversation with someone who's like a basketball fan or a football player?
I hate that too.
They go like, oh, I don't have any teams. I don't root for any teams. I root for a player.
I root for the Patriots because I love Tom Brady. It's like, no, that's no. Mm-mm.
But then they were a Bucks fan, and then now they're a Raiders fan.
The only way that's allowable is if that's a family member.
Correct.
Yeah.
You could switch allegiances if your family member switches teams.
Yeah.
I'll respect that.
And even that, Kylie Kelsey would never root for anyone but the Eagles.
There you go.
That's a fan. That's a fan.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Oh, yeah. So, all right. So let's wrap it up. Any caveats? Anything we missed?
I mean, how are we not talking about what happened at the Coldplay concert?
At this point,
I mean, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, okay.
Like, come on. It just does. I mean,
pretty shitty, but I mean, like,
okay. Here's what I'm gonna say. One of my best friends took her daughter for her birthday, flew from Philly to Boston. I talked to her that day. She's like, we're flying up to Boston, taking Alana to the Coldplay concert. She went with her sister. The next day, I'm like, did you see it happen? She's like, oh, yeah. Like, watched it play out.
Wow.
Watched it play out. And she said they were on their way home, and she turned to her sister, and her sister was like, God, I wonder if somebody knew them in there. None of them knew that it was videotaped and like being like, they just knew what was happening within that stadium. Right. And so she was like, yeah, we were like, oh, they're so busted, not knowing what was going to happen. And just the way it all, like the next morning, it was like, here's the video. No one knows who they are. An hour later, it was like, here's the guy. He's the CEO of Astronomer. An hour after that, it was like, oh, and the woman's the head of HR. Like the way the whole thing unfolded.
Unraveled.
Yeah, unraveled. And okay, and here's my assessment. Here's what I want to know. Number one, I want to know like the details. Like, are they still talking? Like, are they picking up the phone and they're like, can you believe this is, or are they
I think they were both married too.
They are.
They are.
Yeah. She's from one of the wealthiest families in Boston. Okay.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't really look too much into either of them.
It was also the first time, as a former tech marketer, the first time I'd ever heard of Astronomer as a company. So well done, well fucking done to that marketing guy or gal in that company, because their sentiment is probably pretty shitty or good, whatever. But like as a marketer, you're like, this is kind of dope.
And so I think about like, what's going on with the two of them? Like, are they in contact? Have they were they in love, or were they really just like,
well, Ryan, you saw this. If you're this in the weeds of it, the fucking like number 2 of HR for the company was there too. Like,
no, that was not her. That's been proven untrue.
Oh, really? Yeah, I thought the whole HR team was there.
No, that was not her. That was Astronomer put out a statement saying that she did not.
You gotta believe that statement.
Yeah, the girl laughing, she didn't work for Astronomer, according to them.
Was that like one of the daughters? Maybe that would have been weird.
And then here's the other thing. I'm scrolling TikTok. Okay. What pops up? The guy's daughter puts out her first TikTok. And
I saw that.
She's on a yacht. And well, first she's at a fire pit and she's just like, what? And then the next one's like on a yacht, unbothered. And she had never put out a TikTok before. And I was like,
she started in OnlyFans too, I think.
Oh my God.
You got to capitalize. It's like the Hawk Tua girl. It's like you gotta seize momentum. You gotta fucking go for it.
Yeah.
And then I just want to know about like what happened like on Monday. You walk in, like we work for Astronomer, like where it's like, let's go to work. What's happening?
Shareholder value.
These are the whole things that I think about. I'm like, oh, I wish I knew an employee there that I could just talk to.
Listen, I don't feel bad for them because they're adults and they made choices, and choices have consequences. Yep. Obviously, this is not something you want to see play out, but it's almost become gone so far that it's become such a joke.
Yeah,
that it's not even malicious, but it's unbelievable how the country just unearths everything about you, and your entire life gets put on blast. So that part really stinks. But again, they made these choices. Obviously, they didn't think they would be found out in this manner.
I have one more thing. I have one more thing to say about this. And I said this to a few people. If I was that woman and I'm there with the guy I'm having an affair with, and we don't know the depths of like, is this a long-term affair? You know, again, are they in love? Are they just like screwing each other? We don't know any of that. But I'm there. The camera pans. He basically pushes her out of the way and ducks down. I'm like, you loser. I have other choice words that I'd like to say, but I'm not going to say it. But any attraction I felt for that guy would have been gone in 2 seconds in the way he reacted to that. Like, what a dork. What a dork. That's my nice way of saying it.
How many employees?
You said, I think you just said what I wanted to say. You didn't mince words, Rob, but.
Yeah. So, but come on, as a CEO of a big tech company, and when you travel, because I've seen this at Amazon and look, everyone's got a team. There's an EA, maybe a couple. There's a security guy. You're going to be in a box. You're going to be in a suite. eyes are already on you, man. Come on. Like,
So
people
that's
are
what I was just
really in
gonna
on it.
say. You're
It's going to
the
happen. If it
goal.
wasn't at Coldplay, it was going to happen next week, or it was going to happen the week after.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're sloppy enough to go out in such a public place,
Fucking
I know,
Coldplay,
granted,
dude.
there's 60,000 people there, so you don't. But listen, like, you didn't think the possibility of running into, maybe not being on the jumbotron, but you
Yeah.
had to
Yeah,
think like
seeing
there's a
someone.
possibility we'd run into somebody we know that we don't want to see. You know, I've never cheated on my wife, and I don't plan to. But like, you watch enough movies, like, people are discreet. It's like hotel rooms, it's private places. It's not, hey, let's go to a concert and let me hug you in front of all these people that you don't know who's looking around and happens to see, oh, there's my boss up in that suite, and then they see
Mhm.
that. So I think I agree with you, Rob, that if it wasn't Coldplay, it was going to happen eventually. But what I will say, aside from their personal lives, the way it brought the country together, that's what we've been needing, is stuff like this that we can all rally around, make jokes about, and all be laughing at the same joke. That's how we heal as a country. So from that vantage point, I liked it.
So thank you, head of HR and
Yeah.
CEO of Astronomer, for this
giving us
moment
content.
for this moment of unity for our country. Is that what you're
Yeah.
saying?
Well said.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. So, all right, Rob, you got anything?
Well, I'm wearing an Army football sweater, and I'm just ready for college football to get here. I just need, it's just so doom and gloom right now with putting on ESPN, just putting on any TV, really. We just need something else. We need some stimulus in this country, and I think sports can save it. So that's it. That's it for me.
Yeah, I think once the calendar turns to August, that's when the Jones in for football like really kicks into high gear.
Yeah.
But I've long been a staunch supporter of not making football all year round, because then we would lose the
I agree.
for it.
Yep.
So
Agree.
it's important.
But it's kind of like pregnancy, right? It's like that last month is like, oh.
Yeah.
One more thing, not to bring it back, but did you guys see the Super Bowl rings for the Eagles?
Yeah, my boy Brad.
Yeah, those are interesting.
With the ring hanging out of the ring?
Wait, don't just say, like, they're freaking awesome. Don't just say
they're very cool.
Like,
they're very cool.
They're awesome. They're
just
awesome.
So I will say, like, championship rings, like in our professional sports in this country, have gotten so out of control.
Yeah, I love it.
You need to do something to
separate
love it. Them.
Why do they do the fucking ceremony now? Why don't they do it like a month after? Like, why is it so far out? Is it to like hype up the troops and like the fandom because like another season's coming?
I mean, like, Lane Johnson was like, he put out a post today and it was a picture of the ring and it was like, let's get ready for number 3. Like,
well, the other thing is, I think guys have their off-season programs, so you don't want to go during that and disrupt that.
Okay.
Or they're on vacations. So like, they're getting ready, if they haven't already, getting ready to go back to camp. So you can probably think like guys are wrapping up their vacations and it's not going to impede on their lives too much. And
do you
also,
right before camp?
Takes time to make 100 rings.
I also think, and I also think it's like, right before the season kicks in, you get that last like burst of momentum. Like,
that's true.
Let's go, boys.
What I do love about those too, because I did some work with the Florida Panthers and in sports when I was at Amazon. They bring like the front office people, the janitors, the people down doing the food. Like there's a fuck ton of people that get that ring, and it's cool.
Oh yeah,
all the way down to like the lower level of the operation and the actual franchise. So shout out to those teams to do that.
My friend's a photographer for the Chiefs, and he's got a ring.
Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah. Well,
I mean, that goes to like, you've heard the NASA story back in the 60s when President Kennedy was visiting the NASA facilities and he saw a janitor and he was sweeping, and he asked the janitor, what are you doing? And he said, I'm working to put a man on the moon. Everybody plays a role, right? So the idea that, the equipment guys obviously play a vital role. It's like, it's not just the 53 dudes on the field and the coaches. It's so many other people. So the fact that everybody gets a ring makes a lot of sense.
We got to
100%.
ask. We got to ask our boy Brett what he thinks about the ring.
His first ring, right? Yeah.
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 Cool.
Yeah. Actually,
We got to get him back on.
We'll have to get him back. But I texted him today. He said it was the coolest jewelry he's ever seen with the wings popping.
Of course.
So, two quick things. This was a sad thing. Malcolm Jamal Warner, who played Theo Huxtable, passed away in an accidental drowning in the ocean. And I mean, when you obviously Bill Cosby, horrible person, horrible things that he did, but in the zeitgeist of American pop culture and American sitcoms, The Cosby Show is arguably top 3, top 5 for sure. One of the best shows, funniest shows of all time. And he was obviously a great character in that. I can remember growing up watching that show, and just really unfortunate. He was 54, I think.
Yeah. So it was in the ocean. I saw accidental drowning.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's terrible. Yeah, that's so sad. Theo Huxtable.
Yeah. And that's just it's so shitty that Bill Cosby turned out to be such a disgusting human, because it absolutely taints that show.
Yep.
And it's hard I don't even think many places even carry it now. So trying to watch
it. I don't think anyone carries it. I don't think you can.
Dude, and that's shame.
That fucking show was still running until when I was in the army. AFN would show when we were overseas. That's how much cred it still had. 30, 35 years later, it was still being shown to the troops, overseas during GWAP.
Yeah.
Shame.
So unfortunate. I still think there's a couple scenes with him, like the episode where Denise makes the crazy shirt for him, the Gordon Gartrell. And I read a good article in Rolling Stone, and then the Regular People clip from when he is young. I don't know. I'm rambling here, but anyway, that was just really, really sad. Anyway, all right. That's all we got. Take care. Make it a great week.